Hey guys, I want to come to you today regarding some things that are heavy on my heart prophetically regarding where we are right now and concerning your cash, the Federal Reserve, crypto, XRP, Bitcoin, the CBDC, and the future of your money. I am in no way, shape, or form a financial advisor or a specialist in this area, but I will say this: I specialize in prophecy. I've been preaching and teaching about this for 20 to 30 years, about this window of time that we're now living in, uh, which is called the final and last generation. This is where we are. Jesus talked about it in Matthew 24, Psalms 90, verse 10. He laid it out from this generation would not pass from the time that Israel became a nation. So we know that we're in that window. I'm not going to get into that today. You could go back and look at my Facebook or my YouTube channels, and you can find out where we are. Let me put my website up here on the bottom part of the screen, so you can always check me out there at crossingpaths.org. You can find everything on our ministries there. I want to talk about the train that we're on right now, the status of our country right now. We know that Donald Trump had just made a decision regarding Bitcoin and the Federal Reserve. I think this is huge. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I mention XRP, or if I mention Bitcoin, or I mention some of these different crypto opportunities that are now out there, you need to educate yourself. I know biblically, prophecy, we are in Revelation 13. I know you might not believe me in that, but you need to trust me in this. If not, at least hear me out. 5 years ago, if I told you Bitcoin would be added to the Federal Reserve, you would have thought I was out of my mind. Bitcoin was a figment of most people's imagination. It was $5 a coin. The coins didn't even exist. It's just a nothingness floating around out there. And now, a short 4 to 5 years later, we're talking about the strongest country in the world, with the most powerful man at the head of the country, who is Donald Trump right now, calling the shots, saying that we are going to lead the world in cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is something now that you need to educate yourself on. The central bank digital currency, you must educate yourself on that. Revelation chapter 13 says that we will enter into a season of which I believe we're in this vacuum right now, where you will not be able to buy or sell. So something has to come first. Something has to come first. A system which can implement a cashless society. And this is just what Bitcoin represents. This is just what crypto represents. Now, I believe at the beginning of this that a lot of the transfer of wealth on the earth is going to take place, especially for those believers and Christians that understand the Bible and know where this is headed, that you can prepare yourself and your family with the proper investments to bless your family and not curse it. Because if we're heading into this, this would be better for you to get on board and understand what to do than to it be happening one day when you go to your bank and it's no longer there. And if you don't think that can happen, you need to look back at 2020 on the phase one of the Agenda 30, where they gave you a warning on bank closings. And this can happen. There will be a transfer of wealth, and it will happen from going from a cash society to crypto, okay, which is a currency that you can trade right now. And like I say, I keep going back to Bitcoin. Look where Bitcoin's at. I'm going to read you a little bit of an article here that I have that I believe this will help you. And it explains, it says, Trump's strategic Bitcoin reserve and crypto stockpile, what you really need to know. It says, as of March 6th, the U.S. government treats Bitcoin as a sovereign reserve asset, akin to gold or foreign currencies. XRP, Solana, Cardano, and Ethereum are unofficially part of the federal digital asset stockpile, according to a Trump X post on March 3rd. Okay, now if that isn't like me talking Greek to you, I'm telling you, you need to educate yourself on what is happening on the earth regarding the future of your finances. The Treasury is required. Hold on one second. My phone just went out on me. Here we go. Bitcoin is corrected by 10%, goes into that investment. Now let me get down here. It says, what is the strategic Bitcoin reserve? The strategic Bitcoin reserve is a dedicated custodial account that holds all Bitcoin forfeited to the federal government through criminal or civil asset forfeiture proceedings. Notably, the White House has announced that Bitcoin reserve will not be sold or liquidated. Instead, Bitcoin held in reserves will be treated as a long-term sovereign asset. A long-term sovereign asset. Bitcoin has been added to the Federal Reserve. Now, if Donald Trump has done this, the United States has already done this. This is no longer prophecy. This is history that you can be educated on. Now, if we go on in the article, it says key points: consolidation, sell restrictions, budget neutral acquisition plans. Bitcoin already held by U.S. agencies will be consolidated into strategic Bitcoin reserve. Sale of Bitcoin. The government will not sell this Bitcoin unless legally obligated. Budget neutral strategies. The Treasury and Commerce will develop a budget neutral strategy to acquire more Bitcoin without burdening the taxpayers. What does digital asset stockpile mean? What are we talking about a digital stockpile? 5 years ago, you would have thought I was out of my mind if I was telling you that this was happening on the earth. But I am telling you, the Bible has prophesied it in this window, and it is happening in this window. I do not know why. I guess because more people aren't there prophetically and understand where we are, so they're not really that concerned. They might not think it's not going to happen. Well, I'm here telling you it's already happening. And we was prophesying this 20 years ago. 20 years ago, these things were going to happen. Alongside the SBR, the executive order also established the United States digital asset stockpile. Well, what is that? A separate repository for the non-Bitcoin assets acquired through civil or criminal forfeiture. So these are assets that are required through civil or criminal forfeiture to be put into our Federal Reserve. However, the White House publication from March 6 does not specify which altcoins are included, leaving ambiguity around the digital assets that will be part of this stockpile. Now, in Donald Trump's post on Truth Social that I'm sure many of you have seen, you can go back and look this up, he says this: a U.S. crypto reserve will alleviate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is my executive order on digital assets directed the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that included XRP, so you should know who XRP is, SOL, which is Solana, and ADA. Okay, you need to look those up and see what those are. XRP, SOL, and ADA. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. So he mentioned them actually first and said that this was going to be it. So they're going to be a part of correcting the financial status of our country. And I believe now that there is a race between China the European Union and the United States to see who would rule the world in crypto, because everything will be going to a worldwide cashless society according to the Bible. The only way this can happen is if we go to a crypto system, a digital currency. So this is what is happening. We are fulfilling prophecy today. However, to the March 6th White House publication, President Trump took to X on March 3rd to announce that Ripple, who is XRP, Solana, SOL, and Cardano, which is ADA, would be included in the U.S. digital asset stockpile alongside Ethereum, which is ETH. Trump's acknowledgement signals how the federal government is increasingly viewing crypto through a more strategic lens. We're talking about a long-term crypto stockpile that we will be able to back the United States currency. Okay, now it goes in to give different examples and what's going to happen in this, adding to the digital stockpile. Why the White House Bitcoin Strategic Reserve? Okay, while Bitcoin has often been referred to as the digital gold, did you hear what I'm saying? Cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, but it starts out with Bitcoin because they have about 60% of the crypto market. It says, while Bitcoin has often been referred to as a digital gold, the move by the U.S. government formalizes that analogy in the most explicit terms yet. The White House publication on Bitcoin can be viewed as an institutional recognition of Bitcoin's monetary utility, scarcity, and long-term value proposition. For the first time, a global superpower declared Bitcoin as a sovereign-grade reserve asset, placing Bitcoin alongside traditional strategic resources. Listen, they put crypto beside these strategic resources like oil, gold, and foreign currency reserves. This move signals a deeper geoeconomic recalibration where digital assets will directly reshape national resilience and financial sovereignty. I am telling you guys, we are in Revelation 13. Some people are absolutely clueless where we are right now and where our country is headed. If you get on the train right now, it is easy to ride it and understand what is going on. If you get run over by the train later, you could be in some serious trouble. Failure to prepare will prepare you for failure. You must strategically align yourself. It's just like when they come out with the credit card, they thought that was the mark of the beast. It's not the system at first that is bad. It is a very good idea. It is a very good strategy to save our country. The problem is going to be is when that person comes out or that country comes out, if it's the United States, if it's the European Union or China, and says that you cannot buy or sell unless you receive the mark of the beast, the name or the number of his name. Until it reaches that point, it can be used as a very, very good strategic plan for our nation, for you individually, for us as a country. But you must be aware of what will happen in the future. It's best for your family to know where the cutoff is and where this turns from possibly the best thing that has ever happened to the world financially to the worst thing. And I'm telling you, that's when the Antichrist sets up himself and says, look, unless you receive the mark, the name, or the number of the beast, you cannot buy or sell. When they say you must pledge your complete loyalty to that person, that is where you must be willing to die for that and separate yourself from the system. Listen, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for supporting us. Please go to my website, which is crossingpaths.org, It'll give you an update on everything where we are prophetically and what we're doing around the world. I look forward to hearing from you. You can contact me from my website. Love and appreciate every single one of you in Jesus' name.